Hello, fabulous Ford students. This is Mrs. March. Today we're going to begin our lecture on adaptations. This is part of Unit 11 called Identification, Variation, and Adaptations. Let's begin with our objectives. Our objective today will be investigate and explain how internal structures of organisms have adaptations that allow specific functions such as gills in fish, hollow bones in the birds, and xylem in plants allows that organism to adapt and survive. Your goal today will be to understand that an adaptation is a genetic characteristic, either physical or behavioral, that allows organisms to survive and reproduce. What are some of the adaptations you see in this living organism? Of course, he's white. He has camouflage. He blends in very well with the environment he's living in. Which of the following do you think is a good definition of an adaptation? Is it a characteristic that gives an organism a better chance of survival? Yes. Is it a special trait that helps living organisms survive in a particular environment? Yes. Is a good definition of adaptation anything that helps an organism survive in its environment? Yes. Is another good definition of adaptation the ability of living things to adjust to different conditions within their environment? Yes. Some of the reasons organisms adapt is to suit their habitat, for protection, for attacking their prey, for feeding their young, and for movement, hibernation. Types of adaptations that we're going to discuss are structural. Those are the external characteristics. Those are the size and shape of the organism's body, the size and shape of the feet, eyes, bills, skin, hair, or leaf color in plants. They're the behavioral adaptations they may make, different ways of reacting to their environment. Are they nocturnal? Do they sleep during the day and are active at night? Do they burrow below ground? Do they migrate from one region to another? The types of adaptations are physiological, which are your internal structures, such as hibernation, rumination, endothermic, or ectothermic. Snakes are ectothermic. Internal structures of plants, if you remember, the roots anchor the plant and are responsible for water absorption. The stem provides structural support of the plants and are necessary for the transport of nutrients, waters, and minerals. The leaves or the blades are the site of photosynthesis, and obviously the size and shape do vary, and its competition for the light is very fierce. Flowers, structures for sexual reproduction, and are needed to make seeds. Plant adaptations, root hairs to increase the water absorption, stem length to reach that available sunlight, water storage for plants that live in areas with varying water availability, such as your desert, the leaf size for increased photosynthesis, the leaf cuticle, whether it's waxy covering to prevent water loss, again as if they were living in the desert, and flower structures to, of course, attract the pollinators, our bees. Animal adaptations. Internal skeletons, such as our insects, allows molting of the exoskeleton for growth. Ectothermic. Cold-blooded animals that regulate their bodies using heat from the environment, such as snakes will bath on rocks outside during the warmer sunlight hours. Endothermic, warm-blooded animals that maintain their body temperature through metabolic activity. Wings, specialized appendages often used for flight. Waterproof or insulated fur to help animals stay warm in a wet or cold environment. And then, of course, water absorption. Some animals, such as giraffes, can obtain their water from the moisture in the foods they eat. Animal adaptation and respiration, gills in fish, the lungs in amphibians, which is the post-tadpole stage, reptiles, birds, mammals help animals absorb oxygen into their blood, and birds have air sacs to help them travel long distances. Animal adaptations such as bones. Many land invertebrates have to molt their exoskeleton when growing, but having a vertebrae and internal skeleton allows an organism to get larger. Birds also have hollow bones, so they are lighter when they fly. Appendages, such as the length, the type of toes they have, claws for burrowing or grasping, and birds have wings for flight, and feet adapt to where they live. Other adaptations, birds have feathers that repel water. Examples of adaptations: teeth, body coverings, and movement. How do these structures help sharks survive their environment? Okay, external structure. Coloration and protective resemblance allows an animal to blend into an environment. As we see, the polar bear cub here is blending into his environment. Another word for this might be camouflage. Their camouflage makes it hard for enemies to single out individuals. If you look down here at the rabbit, he blends in very well with his environment. Therefore, he's difficult to see. Go back. External adaptations. If you look over here at the owl's eyes and then the butterfly over here, mimicry allows one animal to look like, sound, or act like another animal to fool predators into thinking it's poisonous or dangerous. Okay, this is the coral snake. Red touch black, friend of Jack. Red touch yellow, you're a dead fellow. So this is the harmless, but he does look like the deadly coral. Behavioral adaptations. Behavioral adaptations include activities that help an animal survive. Okay? Behavioral adaptations can be learned. Okay? They can be taught by the parents, or they could be instinctive. An animal is born with it. Okay? An opossum plays dead. He hangs upside down. He closes his eyes. He sticks out his tongue if he thinks he's going to be eaten by a predator. It's an adaptation he has learned. Okay, behavioral adaptations. If you own a rabbit, you know a rabbit will freeze when they think it's been seen. Okay? Migration. This is a behavioral adaptation that involves an animal or a group of animals moving from one region to another and then back again. Sometimes they do it for weather change. Okay, they go from the north to the south, just like our birds do. Okay, why do they migrate? Animals migrate for different reasons. Sometimes it is for a better climate. Sometimes it's for better food. Sometimes it is for a safe place to live, a safe place to raise young, or to go back to the place where they were born. Internal structures now. In birds, hollow bones filled with the air sac help them make their bodies lighter so that they can actually fly. Hibernation. This is a deep sleep in which an animal's body temperature drops and the body's activity is slowed to conserve energy. Animals that do hibernate, your bats, woodchucks, and bears. So far, that's what we have on adaptations. I hope you enjoyed the presentation, and I will see you soon.